in New York, and so proud to stand with my incredible colleagues from Forest for All NYC, from City Council, from the State Assembly, and from the Borough President's Office. We are here today for trees. We have a lot of speakers to tell you why the urban forest matters and how we are going to work together for a better city. With that, let me first invite Parks Committee Chair Shekhar Krishnan, who has been an ally on the urban forest from day one, to say a few words about the legislation that has just passed out of his committee and legislation to come. So with that, Councilmember Krishnan.
All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Can we give Forest for All a big round of applause? Is Forest for All in the house? Do we love our trees? All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Councilmember Shekhar Krishnan, councilmember from Jackson Heights and Elmhurst, Queens, and the chair of our Parks Committee in the New York City Council. And we are standing here because we love and we will always fight for our trees. I want to thank Emily and every single organization part of the Forest for All Coalition. There's so many amazing groups here today doing the work every single day. Doing the work every day. Yeah, I'll do that for now. All right. Great. Can you all hear me? Yeah. We're doing the work every single day to take care of our trees, to expand our urban forest. We know, we've seen from this summer alone, between extreme heat, between the flooding across our city that will continue into the fall, we are facing an urgent climate crisis that is getting worse every single day. And one of the best front lines of defense to solve that climate crisis is to expand and protect our city's urban forest. Our trees give us shade. Our trees clean our air. Our trees cool our communities. They support wildlife. And they make sure all of us as New Yorkers have a place to rest, relax, play, and socialize. Yet there is so much work that we need to do to make sure that every single community in this city has proper tree canopy cover. The statistics are very clear. There are some communities that have luscious trees and vegetation that keeps them cool. And there are other communities, like my own in Elmhurst and Jackson Heights, that are far behind the tree canopy coverage that we need. And that makes a difference on the ground every day in terms of the heat in our communities, on our streets. We, as the New York City Council, are committed to addressing that head on. And I know with my colleagues in government from the state, Assemblymember Deborah Glick, and from the city, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine, everyone who is here, every single organization part of this group, together we are sending a message loud and clear today that our urban forest must be, has to be, one of the top priorities in our city. And that's why we as a Parks Committee are laser focused on this issue. That's right. The bill that we're passing today, or we better be passing today, Councilmember Brewer's legislation to make sure that the long-term sustainability planning for our city prioritizes our tree canopy. How could you have a conversation about sustainability without prioritizing our trees? So in case that wasn't clear, this legislation makes it clear today. We have Councilmember Bottcher's bill to make sure that our New York City government is creating a street tree master plan, that we know how to think comprehensively about our trees and our urban forests. And I want to thank Councilmember Bottcher for your leadership with this legislation. Today, we're making clear across our city that the only way our city survives this climate crisis, the only way that we protect every New Yorker and every community, is to make sure that we expand our urban forest, that we have a 30% tree canopy cover by 2035. You have the commitment of our City Council, of our Parks Committee, that working hand in hand with you all, every single group that's here today, under your leadership, we will fight every single day to that finally we have a tree canopy cover in New York City that we are proud of, that protects all our communities and makes us the resilient city that we need to be. Thank you all so much, and I want to urge all my colleagues to pass today's legislation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Krishnan, for your leadership and words. Forest for All NYC stands behind Introduction 1066, introduced by Councilmember Daryl Brewer, that will amend the city charter to truly include trees and tree canopy in our long-term planning, a move that finally puts trees on par with infrastructure. Thank you for your leadership, Councilmember Brewer. Please come sit here.
I'm Dale Brewer, City Council member, but I'm mostly really appreciative of everyone here because we all love trees, but we don't friggin' water them enough. And the fact that you're here, that means that we're going to continue to keep them healthy. So yes, 1066, that's what it does. It says to the Office of Sustainability, no matter who's mayor in the future, now when you're talking about infrastructure and wind and solar and resiliency and all that, damn well put trees in there too. And that's what this bill says, because they're not there. It's part of sustainability. And the issue is very specifically, I remember when Mayor Bloomberg came up with the Million Tree Initiative, because I've been around for a very long time. And there was not a requirement to make this a part of the initiative. And I have to tell you the bad news. There are a lot of dead trees. Because we didn't have this coalition, because we didn't have the master plan that Councilmember Bottcher and all of you care about. There has not been that focus. It's not part of the discussion, and it should be. So I am a nut on vacant tree pits. I counted all of them in my district. We want them all to be filled with trees. We want this entire city to be part of the canopy. So that's why I'm here, to make sure that it exists. We look forward to passage today. I want to thank Councilmember Christian, because he's been a nut on trees also. We're all tree huggers!
Thank you so much, Councilmember Brewer. So, Forest for All NYC is also tremendously enthusiastic about another introduction, Introduction 1065, sponsored by our friend and tree advocate, Councilmember Eric Bottcher. This is a forward-looking bill that would create the first ever citywide plan for trees across public and private property, something so many other cities have done, but so many haven't, and it would require ongoing canopy monitoring and achieving 30% canopy cover, a goal near and dear to all of our hearts. So with that, Councilmember Bottcher, thank you for your leadership. Please join us.
Can you hear me? Thank you so much. Do we have a really our secret, right everyone? There's no press here. So I get asked, every once in a while, I'll get stopped on the street or somewhere else and say, Eric, why do you care about trees so much? You talk about trees so much. To them I say, what else cleans the air of pollutants, provides shade for our community, and cools temperatures, it brings down temperatures during a heat wave? What else absorbs rainwater and stormwater runoff and prevents flooding and provides habitat for native birds and insects and butterflies? Street trees are all of these things during a time when we are being faced with an existential threat to everything we know and care about. So why aren't we considering street trees as vital infrastructure, vital and necessary infrastructure? But we've made some progress in recent decades, and I want to give the New York Restoration Project a big shout out for all they did and are still doing, and all the advocates here. But we could be doing so much more. We could be doing so much more. So today, the City Council, we're legislating. We're amending the city charter to ensure that street trees are considered infrastructure. And we're going to pass my legislation that will guarantee that the city reaches 30% coverage, tree canopy coverage. And by the way, as far as I'm concerned, that's just the beginning, right? That's just the beginning. So future generations, they're going to look back and they're going to want to know, like, what did we do? What did we do when we faced a threat to future humanity? When we faced a threat to every species, when mass extinction was underway? We're going to be able to say either we stepped up to the plate and we took the drastic action needed, or we took half measures and we didn't use every tool we had at our fingertips. So today, we're taking action. We're going to use every tool at our disposal, including street trees. So let's achieve 30% coverage in the city of New York and go much farther. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Bottcher. We are thrilled for Introduction 1065 to be voted on at the soonest possible date. We do have a couple of other council members who joined us, so we want to provide an opportunity. I want to acknowledge, although she had to leave, Councilmember Aviles, and I will encourage you, read her op-ed that she did with New York City Environmental Justice Alliance that posted this morning. It is hot. It tells you what you need to know. Councilmember Monte, you have also been a friend of the Forest for All NYC Coalition. Please join us.
Hey everyone, let's make some noise. When I say, what do we want? You say trees. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Trees. When do we want them? Now. What do we want? Trees. When do we want them? Now. I want to thank Councilmember Brewer and Councilmember Bottcher for leading in this fight. It is crucial that we start planting trees, that we start taking care of trees, because we are going to ask ourselves, what are we doing? We already know it's too late. When the first day of school, it reaches the real feel of 100 degrees, we're already too late. When you have kids that walk down their street and don't even see a single tree, and if there is a tree, it's dead, we're already too late. In my district, on Canal Street, that reaches from the Hudson River to the East River, I counted how many trees there are. There are only 2, and 1 is barely making it. When we think about that, and we think about other consequences, whether it's asthma rates, longevity, and other chronic illnesses, our trees are connected to that. And so this is just not a climate change issue, this is a health issue, this is a sustainability issue, and this is a human right issue. And so I thank you all for being here. I know Climate Week starts on Monday, but we're starting it today with this legislation. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Marte and all of our city council members. Thank you. I now am honored to have our friend, the Borough President, Mark Levine, who has been a champion for a million more trees and for achieving 30 by 35. Borough President Levine.
Thank you, Emily. If you love trees, make some noise. They couldn't hear that in City Hall. Let's do this again. If you love trees, make some noise. You see the window shaking back there. That's what I like. Emily Maxwell, force of nature. Look at this coalition. Trees for all. We love you. You are making yourself heard and seen out here today. Thank you, Councilmember Bottcher, for your great legislation, and to Councilmember Brewer, Councilmember Marte, always giving a rousing speech. And we got Assemblymember Deborah Glick out here too. The whole crew.
There is no more debate. Climate change is real. Extreme weather is here. Environmental injustice is afflicting communities of color in this city. And trees help us in every one of those fights. We know these things. All that's left is to answer the question of whether this city has the will to plant more trees. And we are here to demand that we put more trees on streets, in our parks, in our natural areas, in schoolyards, on NYCHA campuses, on rooftops. We want more trees everywhere in New York City. And we know we can do this because in the first decade of the 2000s, we planted 1 million more trees in this city. And so we're demanding that in the next decade, we plant another 1 million trees in this city. And yes, and when we do that, we will achieve the critical goal of 30% canopy cover in the 5 boroughs. We can do this. It will be a win for climate, a win for air quality, a win for racial justice. We've just got to find the will, and this coalition is out here today demanding that we do the right thing. Let's go trees, everybody!
Now, I am honored. Usually my job is to work with folks in the city who are amazing, but today, although overshadowed by sirens and needing to shout, I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled, to have the chair of the State Assembly Environmental Conservation Committee and Assembly member for over 30 years, Assembly member Deborah Glick. Thank you.
I'm very happy that you're all in my district. And I want to thank the advocates. The Forest for All, Trees for All Coalition, Nature Conservancy, We Act, and all of the individuals that care personally and passionately for trees. But I also want to thank Council Member Gail Brewer and Eric Botcher for putting this front and center in the City Council. Thank you. Councilmember Brewer was right. We not only need more trees, but we need to take care of them. And it is important that these tree pits, which I think is really kind of a Sarah kind of word, these tree beds that need to be extended. We need to see that there is more room for the trees to grow roots, more opportunity for water runoff to be absorbed to help reduce flooding as we see rains coming in ridiculous amounts. And I think that we all know how important trees are to our spirit, and they are threatened not just by greater heat, but by many invasives. And as climate change continues, we'll see more of that. And so it's not just here, but it's across the state that we need to see the reforesting of New York State. In late August, there was a wonderful article in the New York Times on mini forests, and we have to see a commitment in all of our open spaces that, look, we consider a playground of traffic island. All of those need to be mini forests throughout New York City, not just in my district, but in the far reaches of Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island. All of these places need to see more trees, and trees that have been given a better chance at life, because they give us a better chance at life. So thank you all.
Our amazing elected officials who stand here today. one of you has a voice, and we only have 20 minutes, so I can only have 6 people out here speaking, but you all are incredible, and I am here to thank all of you. In a moment, you'll hear from some of my colleagues, but I wanted to make some overall remarks from the coalition itself. So we are here today to urge City Council to pass Introduction 1066 and to urgently put Introduction 1065 on the soonest possible agenda for passage. We are so grateful to the leadership of Shaker Krishnan, of Eric Botcher, of Gail Brewer, of Speaker Adams, of Assemblymember Schlitt, of Borough President Levine, of Chris Marte, and of all of the various members who are voting in support of this crucial legislation today. Forest for All NYC is over 110 organizations from across the city. In my words, I cannot capture the depth and diversity and passion of this group. But let me tell you, you see it here. It is deep and it is real. It is from every corner of our city. Every issue that you can imagine, from environmental justice to energy utilities, and you will hear from all of us today. Why are we here today? We are here for the urban forest. We are here because we want a better city. We want a healthier, more just, more resilient New York City, and that comes through a bigger, better cared for urban forest. And that's what we are here to get done. You have heard about the benefits of the urban forest, but I cannot say them loud enough. The urban forest cools our city. It saves energy. It filters water. It combats climate change. It improves our health and well-being. It's a refuge for migratory and resident species, birds, bats, insects, but it's also a refuge for us, for humans. And we need that in the face of a city where tree canopy is enjoyed less by communities of color and low-income communities who disproportionately suffer illness from heat-related causes, which are getting worse. But there's good news. Today is a game changer for New York City. Treating tree canopy and trees as critical infrastructure by changing the city charter to do so is a solution. It puts us on the right path. Moving forward with a citywide urban forest plan is the next step to truly achieve at least 30% canopy equitably by 2035. We urge the City Council to pass 1066 today and to pass 1065 as soon as possible. I will say that efforts to protect, maintain, and expand the New York City urban forest are quite literally supported by 97% of New York City voters. This is a common sense issue. We can get it done. Collectively, the legislation in play means a better New York City. I want to again thank Council Member Krishnan, Botcher, and Brewer for leading on this legislation, Council Member Adams for placing one of the bills to vote today, and all of the members who vote in favor. With that, I would like to introduce my colleague who I don't see quite yet, Shravanti Kanakal. Shravanti from New York City Environmental Justice.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shravanti Kanekar, and I'm from the New York City Environmental Justice Alliance. We're a membership network that links grassroots organizations, lead environmental justice communities in their fight for environmental justice. We're also a proud member of Forest for All NYC Coalition. As you heard, tree canopy in New York City is not equitably distributed. This is a tremendous issue for our community and for organizations that are located in environmental justice communities across the 5 boroughs of New York City and Manhattan. Our communities, what we represent, face higher illness and death due to extreme heat. They face higher rates of asthma and cardiovascular disease, which are exacerbated by extreme the environmental justice issues that they face. Embedding tree canopy within our city charter is an extremely smart way to make sure that trees are considered in the overall planning of our city and that is an important issue. And we applaud the imminent passage of Intro 1066 in the stated meeting later today, but we really need a citywide plan to make sure that it centers equity, to make sure that it prioritizes the most heat vulnerable communities, and that it's a crucial step to right historic injustices. We need to be able to track and monitor our urban forests, again, to make sure that it's advancing equity and that we're not reinforcing existing historic inequities. And that's exactly why we need to pass Intro 1065 as soon as possible. And we really thank all of our city council leaders here today, all of our colleagues. We just want to make sure that both these pieces of legislation are passed at the earliest opportunity to get benefits. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bumpy and New York City Environmental Justice Alliance. Now I would like to introduce one of our leading members from Natural Areas Conservancy, the Executive Director, Sarah Charlotte Howard.
Alright, I heard people can't hear in the back, so I'm going to try to really shout it out. I'm Sarah, I'm with the Natural Areas Conservancy. I am here to really celebrate the work of my peers on the Forest for All NYC Coalition and our amazing elected officials in support of both Intros 1065 and 1066. Natural areas represent just a small portion of the area of our urban forest, but they have 5 million or 7 million trees. They store 70% of our carbon, and compared even to landscape parks, they're 15 degrees cooler on hot days. They offer refuge, they offer 300 miles of trails, and for half of New Yorkers, they are the only place where people can go to experience wild nature. We celebrate the overall leadership of this incredible group of people gathered here today, and in addition to expanding to 30% canopy, which is an incredible and much needed goal, we also call for the care of our existing urban forests to make sure that the incredible benefits and experiences that they offer are sustained now and into the future. So thank you all so much.
Thank you so much to Sarah and Natural Areas Conservancy. Now we would love to welcome Lonnie Portis from We Act for Environmental Justice. Lonnie.
Morning, everyone. I think I have a natural microphone, so hopefully everyone can hear me. I want to reiterate something that Councilmember Marte said, that the need to protect and expand our urban tree canopy is more than a climate issue, it's a public health issue. But moreover, the negative health impacts from the climate crisis are not felt equally. Black New Yorkers are twice as likely to die during and immediately following a extreme emergency, and adult residents of East Harlem are twice as likely to die due to poor air quality compared to other neighborhoods in Manhattan. Central Harlem and the South Bronx face similar increased risk of death due to poor air quality compared to other neighborhoods in Manhattan as well. One of the reasons for this is the lack of greenery in these communities, whether they be parks, community gardens, or street trees. And while it's a challenge to find new spaces for parks and gardens, adding street trees is one of the easiest and most effective ways to combat extreme heat and increase air quality in these communities. We need to take our tree canopy seriously, and we need a plan. We Act proudly supports and a proud member of Forest for All New York supports Intro 1066 and calls to the City Council to pass that bill today. And we want to thank Councilmember Brewer, the bill sponsor, for all your work to get us here. And we also call upon City Council to swiftly schedule a vote and pass Intro 1065. We need a plan and monitoring monitoring that centers on equity. Thank you, Councilmember Bacha, for introducing that bill, which we hope to see passed soon. Thank you.
I am looking out. Is Jen Hensley in that? Oh my God, Jen Hensley is right here. Hi,
very proud to be here in support today and proud to continue to support this effort going forward. Thanks, everybody.
So trees are about so many things, but a robust tree canopy is also about the future of New York City's workforce. We depend on it, and we can help employ New Yorkers. With that, our friend Tanya Gale from Green City Force.
Alright, so Green City Force, we train young leaders to power and bring the city economy to service. And a robust urban forest will help us achieve our mission. And our trainees and graduates will in turn help care for and expand our urban forest. Not only do New Yorkers need a more equitable, expansive urban forest, but the urban forest needs larger and more robust workforce to ensure its future. That's why we have begun training New Yorkers to monitor and care for the urban forest. Green City Forest works very closely with the New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA, which occupies just 1% of land in the city, but it's home to 2% of our tree canopy. And many of our most heat vulnerable residents, as well as some of the tree canopy in our most heat vulnerable areas. NYCHA needs a plan and funds to maximize the benefits of our urban forest. We need to care for the trees of NYCHA and plant more, and importantly, we need a good green jobs for NYCHA residents. Thank you to the City Council leadership for these two important bills, which not only result in a greener NYC, but should result in more and better jobs for New Yorkers. We applaud passage and hope to see more legislation in the possible moment. And for NYCHA and the whole city, we need a thriving urban forest.
I just want to turn to all of you, because you are the people making this happen. And I know that we can't hear everything, but maybe we can channel Councilmember Marte for one moment and say, what do we want? Trees! When do we want them? Now! What do we want? Trees! When do we want them? Now! What do we want? Trees! When do we want them? Now! Huge thanks to all of the Forest for All NYC Coalition members, to Councilmember Krishnan, to Councilmember Botcher, to Councilmember Brewer, to Assemblymember Deborah Glick, to Borough President Levine, and to every New Yorker making a better urban forest. Thank you.